Hey everyone, welcome back to World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore and our Human Paladin. I appreciate you joining me today, and I hope you are all doing well. Today we're starting things off with a couple of quest turn-ins at Maestra's Post and at Darnassus as well. That should be enough to push us to level 34, at which point we can hearth back to Menethil Harbor, take a flight to Stormwind, and pick up our new abilities. Be sure to document what our new upgrades will look like at level 36. And then it is off to Stranglethorn Vale. So, let's get started. We're entering the post now. Let's speak with Delgrin. I think this should wrap up the Tower of Althalax for good.
Greetings.
But let's find out.
Light bless you.
I knew you would be up to the task, Sedelian. I sense great deeds before you, and that you will right many of the wrongs that plague our lands. Bear my blessings, Sedelian, as well as this gift. We'll take the sword, of course.
Be careful.
And there we go, level 34. Do a quick talent check, just to make sure we didn't spend any points. And yeah, that is the end of the Tower of Althalax, which is a quest line that took us from level 18 all the way up to level 34. It's definitely been one of my favorite quest lines so far, especially when it comes to Night Elven territory. This one plus Rain's Cleansing, I would say, are the two big ones that, really make this zone what it is with the Alliance, I think. With that being said, we're going to head over to Darnassus just to quickly turn in one more quest. I'm not sure if this one's part of a bigger chain. This one's for Valinda Starsong. I was considering maybe skipping it and just heading back to Menethil now, but since it is green to us, I think it would be good just to complete it and pick up the follow-up. Hopefully that follow-up doesn't put a quest item into our inventory, as I'm not sure when we're going to get to it, but we'll just have to see. out to Ruthven Village. Say goodbye to Ashenvale for the time being. Do have a quest or two to complete still within the zone. So it probably won't be too long. Actually taking a look at our quest log now and seeing what quests have turned green to us, and it looks like Necrosh's Gambit in the wetlands has also turned green. And of course the battle against Eliza as well, but I think we'll wait for that in Duskwood until 35, I think would be a safer bet, since it's going to be a pretty difficult quest. And then looking towards Stranglethorn, so we're going to head back towards Darkshire, take a run through Duskwood. Of course, the big issue with Alliance in Stranglethorn is that you either have Booty Bay or Darkshire as your flight points. And we're going to be spending quite a bit of time in the northern section of the region, which means it's going to be kind of a pain to rest. So once we do start heading into Stranglethorn, hopefully we can stay there for a few episodes, kind of get the initial questing done and out of the way, so that we can rest for a bit and possibly move on to something else. And I think, while there are quests at the Rebel camp, and we'll check out what those are, I think we're going to want to focus on the Nessingwary quest lines first, since those should be pretty easy for our level. But yeah, and then we'll have to, I think I'll start doing some more zone hopping. I won't spend as much time, like on one single zone, I think, for an extended period of time. And so I know Desolace is going to be on our plate, hopefully, because the trick with Desolace is having kind of all the quests that start the zone off. If you don't have certain quests that you pick up in kind of like in random major cities or towns, if you don't have the right breadcrumbs, sometimes you could lose access to a ton of different quest lines. So hopefully we can pick those up when we can. Hopefully we can stumble upon those, but if not, we'll see. We've been doing a pretty good job of taking out levels that, or zones that we've out leveled, and we've pretty much had 100% rested experience for a long time. And I think that should continue. Yeah, look at that. We've still got a full level of rested experience, so we can afford to skip some quest lines here and there, which is going to be very nice for us. It'll make things a little bit safer. We can be a little bit pickier about the stuff that we take on. Alright, we have landed in Ruthven Village. Let's head into the city. I'm going to keep my UI up for now, just in case there are quests that we can pick up, since we're not going to see them on our map. Poke my head over here real quick. Doesn't look like anybody out here has anything for us right now. Star Song is going to be over at Warriors Terrace, which is right near the entrance. feel like there may come a time where we're going to have to take some time to manually scan each major city for quests, since there isn't going to be much of a reason to kind of explore otherwise, so we might miss some stuff along the way.
Yushnu Allah.
Valinde Star Song. That the priestess disappeared some time ago is almost certainly common knowledge. As to further details about the events that surrounded her departure, it would take good reason for me to divulge such information.
Good luck, friend.
The Tome of Malthandris showed you this. I suppose there would be little harm in allowing you to examine her belongings. This key will allow you to open the chest where she stored her things, the Sentinel's bunkhouse. She kept a journal of her duties. If there's anything to be learned, it will be from that. I should tell you, the Sentinels believe that she had her own reasons for leaving, and expect that she could return at any time. The priestess has done much in the past to earn our trust. Search through Valinda's chest for her journal. Over at the Sentinels of Bunkhouse.
Goddess, watch over you.
We've got a key. Where would I find the Sentinels of Bunkhouse? And she did give me a key, so... I mean, I would have to think it would be at Warrior's Terrace, right? This is a quest I'm not familiar with at all either. Examine her belongings. In the Sentinel's bunkhouse.
How may I help?
Farewell.
Farewell.
Yeah, she doesn't tell me. I guess I'll just head down here and take a look. Goods, bags. I feel like we might have seen the bunkhouse before. While we were exploring the different weapon vendors. I just don't remember. It's been quite a long time. This vendor upstairs in this building to our right is where our two-handed maces would come from if we needed them. Aha, I found it. Sentinel's bunkhouse. Looks like we gotta go upstairs. For a bunkhouse. Wonder how many Sentinels are sharing that one single bed. I'm sure there's more downstairs, we just can't see it. We've got Valinda's journal. We're going to return that, but we should read what's inside first. The Loon has granted my wishes. The lives of my fallen comrades will not be in vain, and I shall avenge their deaths using the scythe of a loon. It is an ancient thing, a branch, twisted and gnarled of wood that can be older than even the Kaldori. For many hours I examined the tool that the goddess granted to me. It is no ordinary weapon, that is for certain, nor is it a simple magical implement. With it, it is as though the barriers of time and space are weakened, holding the scythe. Holding the scythe in my hands, I received a vision of chaos. Wolfmen, the Worgen, battled an incredible enemy. The Worgen fought savagely, as fit as their primitive race, but their enemy was unflinching, the Lords of the Emerald Flame. And that was when I realized the true power of the scythe. By focusing on it, I became able to communicate with the Worgen. It was not speech I used to contact them, however. It was something different. I could not describe it. What mattered was the Worgen heard and understood me. By further channeling energy into the scythe, the barriers weakened more, and I was able to draw Worgen into our world. A score and a half I was able to summon in my first attempt. They followed me into battle, and with their brutish strength at my command, we tore into the demons of Felwood. Elune has granted my wishes. The forest will be cleansed. May Elune's blessings be upon me until my work is done. All goes well. I have summoned larger numbers of Worgen to fight at my side, though they are not of simple mind, and I have shown impressive ability to coordinate their attacks and function as a group. I have identified leaders of their packs. To them I have given command of small groups of warriors. We strike from many places in the forest at once, and my campaign against the demons is a fruitful one. May Elune's blessings be upon me until my work is done. A pack is lost. I sent the Worgen to range through the forest and identify areas of demonic infestation, but they did not return. I begin to worry about the leaders that I have entrusted control to. They are of simple mind, and this small bit of authority I have given them, they stretch to the utmost. Am I losing control? Perhaps I shall cease summoning additional Worgen for the time being. May Elune's blessings be upon me until my work is done. Though I have not summoned additional Worgen, their numbers continue to increase. It is as though the scythe no longer requires my intervention for summoning process. This is troubling. I have gathered as many of the packs as I could find and ordered them to remain at the shrine of Melfandris. Meanwhile, I have searched the libraries in Darnassus and consulted with the Circle of Ancients in Darkshore. Not one scrap of information about these Worgen did I find. I have heard reports, whispers, of a wizard in the Kirin Tor named Arogal. From what I have heard, it is possible that he also summoned Worgen. I would consult with this wizard, distasteful as it might be, and see what he knows. The Worgen are dangerous, and I wish to stem the tide. On the morrow, I will travel to the port in the Barrens and book passage to the New World. May Elune's blessings be upon me until my work is done. Wow. Okay. Some really cool things in here. Definitely some stuff I didn't know. We don't really get an idea of how the scythe went from Jitters over to Valinde, I think, unless I'm like forgetting something, or just maybe I missed, an important book or note that can be found somewhere in Duskwood. But really interesting. I did not know that this Scythe of Elune was used in Felwood specifically to battle the demonic powers that be. And I'm curious because she said she obviously traveled over to the Eastern Kingdoms to go meet Arogal, assumingly in Silverpine. And I'm wondering what happened to the Worgen then. Did the Worgen come with her? Or did they stay in Felwood? And if so, are there Worgen in Felwood? Because I don't remember that ever being the case. But I'm also not as familiar with Felwood on the Alliance side, specifically. So, I mean, it's very possible there's like a corner or something of Felwood where there's a couple of Worgen there, but I'm not sure. This note is definitely one of the more, or journal I guess I should say, is one of the more interesting things I think I've read so far with this character, just because of how little I knew about this stuff. I knew about the Scythe of Elune to a certain degree, but this is a lot of this is very new information, and I'm wondering if this is going to send us to Shadowfang Keep, which obviously we're not going to be doing, but it's still interesting nonetheless.
I am honored. Del Nadris.
It seems that Valinda's disappearance is more troubling than originally appeared. Even still, I cannot believe that she has come to a bad end. Perhaps it would be beneficial for us to make contact with her. Sedalian, since you have shown a vested interest in this matter, I would like to enlist your aid.
Farewell.
Ratchet is the only port in the Barrens. Most likely Valinda found a trading vessel in Ratchet to take her to Blackwater Cove in Azeroth. We've had a limited dealings with the goblins that run the port, but the master of the dock should have information about the comings and goings of ship passengers. Follow the road southeast through Ashenvale, and you should find yourself in the Barrens. Watch your step, Sedalian. Warriors of the Horde patrol the land. You will be safe at the port, though. Okay, speak with Wharf Master Dizzywig and Ratchet.
Be careful.
Very cool. And we're no longer holding onto the journal, so that's really cool. Do we want to go to Ratchet? I guess is the question I have. It's probably better if I just hearth back to Menethil Harbor regardless, rather than take a flight. The flight would probably be quite long. It might not be a bad idea. I feel like we're not going to get too much of Stranglethorn today anyway. And I feel like a good stopping point would be to just head over to Scarlet Raven Tavern and just park ourselves there until we're ready to invest more time into, in as much time as we can into Stranglethorn. So let's head back to Menethil Harbor. We'll take the flight to Ratchet. And we'll follow this lead, at least as long as we can. Yeah, the quest is still green to us anyway, so let's get it done. It looks like we showed up just on time. I'm really invested in this quest line too. So I'd like to see what happens next. Some time to rest on the boat. I wish they included some like bartenders or you know, some sort of vendors on these boats, but I don't think any exist. It's possible that that could be a technical thing though. Those vendors could potentially cause issues, I suppose, in between like loading screens and whatnot. pulling up to Theramore now. And I think this should completely clear out our quest log for the most part as far as follow-ups go. Everything else that we have in here is going to be like really an actual quest to move forward with.
No. He good.
We are on our way to Ratchet. Let's go speak with Wharf Master Dizzywig. Oh, interesting. The boat's pulling into Booty Bay as well. Let's see how long this will take. I'm assuming it's going to send us to the Eastern Kingdoms.
What's up? Keep it real.
Human, eh? Must admit, we don't get much of your type out here. Looking for someone, eh? Just give me a moment. I'm sure I have it written in one of my ledgers. Lots of people travel through here, though, so give me a moment.
Have a good one.
Yeah, this is going to send us to Booty Bay.
Be good.
I don't want to miss the boat, so I'm just going to accept it, and we'll read the quest on the boat. I was going to come here regardless, because it'll be easier to fly back to Stormwind from Booty Bay. I think we might actually already have the flight path, but I'm not sure. Ah, yes. Finally found it. Should have told me she passed through here that long ago. Let's see. Belinda. Booked passage to Booty Bay on the Black Osprey. I don't have anything here saying otherwise, so I'd assume it arrived in port safely. Not much more help I can be to you, but she asked about the overland travel over that side of the world, and I mentioned Ruzgot, a caravan driver based out of Booty Bay. Might be that this Belinda traveled with him. Move along now. I haven't all day for you. Alright, so we can go into Booty Bay and speak with Carabiner Rusgot. Cool. Yeah, I mean, that is for someone that doesn't know the lay of the land, traveling from Booty Bay to Silver Pine Forest is quite far and dangerous. So I'd be curious to see if we're going to get more details on how she actually got across the Eastern Kingdoms. Maybe it'll even send us across the Eastern Kingdoms. Which, you know, we've got flight paths at this point that stretch all the way up, so I'm assuming we should be able to follow through with whatever we get. The Stormwind music that we get when we enter Booty Bay always kills me. I wonder what why that is from a technical perspective. Why, like, a piece of Stormwind would be down here in some way. Or maybe it was just like placeholder music. Alright, let's find this guy. Looks like he's right down there. Mr. Rusgot.
Talk to me.
Yes. Now, doesn't it look like... Now, it doesn't look to me like you're they sort with goods that need shipping. So either you're looking for a job with my caravan, and there's no jobs to be had now, or you're probably talking to the wrong goblin. So which one is it?
Right back.
Turns out I was wrong about you, and that isn't something that happens every day. It just so happens that I remember this Valinda you're looking for. It isn't every day that a night elf priestess that wants to travel with a dirty, old, but great for your shipping needs, caravan like my own. We split up on the way north. She was headed for Darkshire. The clerk there keeps all sorts of records. Might know something useful. Be careful in the jungle. It is a deadly place, even at the best of times.
Keep it real.
Alright, another quest line that another alliance quest line, I should say, too, that sends us all over the place to talk to certain people. You don't get too many of those on the Horde side. Let's see, I should be in the right place down here. Let's head all the way up.
Yo!
Check and make sure this isn't something important. Singing crystals, yeah, I don't think we need that quite yet. I think a lot of these quests in Booty Bay are going to be, you know, around like level 40-ish before I feel comfortable about taking them on. I think I went the wrong way. Where am I going? Turning myself around right now. Ah, here we go. Always forget how to get to the Alliance flight path. Yeah, looks like we already got it at some point. All right, well, let's head up to Darkshire and we'll keep this trail going. And yeah, I think it makes sense at this point just to finish off with that, and you know, go as far as we can until we hit Stormwind, and then we'll pick up our new abilities and we'll save Stranglethorn for the next episode. headed back in Darkshire. Let us speak with the clerk, as we have quite a few times before.
What can I do for you?
With all the strange happenings in the last few years... Oh, member of the Night Watch just spawned. I just heard a bell too, so maybe Stitches is on his way again. Anyway, with all the strange happenings in the last few years, I keep as good records of strangers as I can. Never know when it might come in handy, though it's usually not pleasant business when it does. Not to suggest anything about Valinda you're looking for.
See you around.
No, I don't have any records of a Valinda Star Song staying in Darkshire. Though, if you don't mind me saying, I can hardly imagine a Night Elf priestess taking a room in the inn, if you get my meaning. These wolfmen you mentioned, though, that's something I've heard about. Just the other day, Kalar came into town with a string on their heads. He works with the Caravan family, hunters of demons, undead, and other monstrosities. Speak with Jonathan. He's the head of the household.
See you later.
Okay, here we go. So it is now coming back full circle. I was wondering at what point would Duskwood and Valinda Star Song would be connected, and it looks like this is that point.
You need something?
Dark times these are. Ill news is whispered from every swaying branch, and evil can be found found under every rock. And in such times an unknown stranger enters my home and asks of Worgen. I'll ask no forgiveness for my suspicions, only answers. And answers I will have.
Have a good one.
Your story rings true. I do not entirely understand your motives, but if your business here in Duskwood involves ridding the forest of Worgen in any number, then I can forego understanding for results. There is a mine to the south that has been overrun with Worgen. They appeared out of nowhere, but from what we know, that is where they first were found. Go about your business, but I would ask that if you find anything of import, you share it with me. We will accept any aid in our war against evil. So this is so interesting that they have this quest line plus the other quest line that we were given by Jonathan Caravan.
Be careful.
And, well, I mean, I guess it was specifically by Kalar, but who's out, kind of hanging around out here. Which I also didn't notice that he did this either. He walks over to this well, which actually has water in it. And he walks back for some reason. Yeah, that's super interesting. Because obviously, it's a little awkward when Jonathan Caravan doesn't recognize me, as the quest text would allude to. But maybe when Blizzard designed these quest lines, they didn't expect players to do both. Maybe.
Well met.
Maybe it was just a way for the Night Elves to experience this this quest line. Yeah, I'm not sure. But everything's clearly connected in some way, so we're going to go back to Roland's Doom, I guess, at some point. And we're going to look for whatever evidence we can find once we're ready to take on Duskwood again. Might be tied to that, I think it was Gut Spill or Gutter Spill, something like that, that named Worgen that we took out. That seemingly didn't have a purpose because we never had a quest for him, and he's also not a rare spawn, so it's possible that it's related. But I'm excited to continue that quest when we are able to. wrap things up by heading over to Cathedral Square. See, I don't see any additional quests to pick up. I know the first aid trainer's here. Let me check with them real quick. I don't think there's anything left for them to teach us, though. Unless we want to pick up anti-venom. I mean, at this point, it's 2 silver. We might as well. It's crazy to think that at some point that 2 silver was actually far too expensive for us. But that should be fine now.
Well met.
Alright, Catherine. Let's see. So we're definitely picking up Flash of Light and Seal of the Righteousness, for sure. Let's just pick up a new rank of Holy Light. We'll pick up both ranks, it's fine. We have the gold for it now, so I'm okay with it. Lots of stuff in the protection tree, but a lot of it's kind of useless to us. But Divine Shield is not. And I think this is going to replace Divine Protection, if I'm not mistaken. It gives us an extra 2 seconds of invulnerability. And it allows us to continue to attack as well while it's up, which is actually extremely helpful. So that's great. Nothing in the retribution tree, but let's check level 36. Let's see, level 36, we get a new rank of exorcism. Okay. We'll note that. I don't care about fire resistance. Aura, we're always going to use devotion, I think. I'm not so sure like the resistances provided by those would even matter. There are cases where we're fighting against like fire mages or pyromancers or something like that, and like, you know, maybe it would be more useful than devotion aura, but I don't know. I'm not sure it makes much of a difference. And then I don't think there's going to be anything in retribution for quite a bit. Yeah, wow. I mean, unless we want to pick up Seal of the Crusader at some point, which I'm not really keen on doing, then I'm thinking we're not gonna see another new upgrade until level 42 in the retribution tree. So level 36, very bare bones. We've got exorcism, and that's it.
Be careful.
So, you know, we're going to spend a gold, 30 silver, which we already have, so we can start spending our money now on other things. Like new bags. We can buy a 2-handed mace at some point pretty easily if we feel like we want to move back into that sort of gameplay for a bit. And then otherwise, I guess we're just going to save up. I mean, the nice part about being a paladin is we don't need any gold whatsoever for the mount, which is huge. because otherwise we would be super far away when we hit level 40 to being able to purchase it, and we'd have to really go out of our way to grind for some vendor gold, which would take a long time. Especially with how slow that we kill everything, it would probably be like we would be making like 5 gold an hour or something, like killing the gorillas and Stranglethorn, or the jaguars and the spiders in where am I going? In the Swamp of Sorrows. Or the, turtles in Dustwallow. And we can't even use skinning either, so it's going to take even longer. I guess we can repair our gear. I don't know when the last time we did that.
Hello.
Looks like we're already ready to go.
Well met.
Alright, we are en route back to Darkshire. I'm going to park myself in the Scarlet Raven Tavern for quite a bit. I would like to, of course, get into Stranglethorn soon, just so we can start churning through this rest experience again. But yeah, that's going to do it for me for today. As always, I appreciate you all so much for watching. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more. I hope to see you in Stranglethorn Vale. Take care.